I'm going to create an API based on a 3270 application on the mainframe. So what I'm going to use our wizard and create a new project. And I'm going to create a SOAP project. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to point it to one of our CICS systems with some BMS maps in the background. I'm going to name the project, and this is just going to be called CICS3. I'm going to click Next. The operation is going to be get cust data. I'm going to click Next. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to ask Ivory to watch what I'm doing to be able to record. So you see it brings up a recorder. I click Clear. I'm going to start the transaction. I'm going to enter some account data and some demographics. And at this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to log off. And so Ivory was watching that. So I'm going to name this particular capture screen 4. Now what I'm going to do is click Next. And since I know that I've got some copybooks that actually define those maps, I can go over here and say, I want to use these later. I'm now going to go back into the recording that I had, and I'm going to tell Ivory, just discard all the network management screens. I just want to use that one as the first location. This one is the last one, and I'm going to create a sequence. Now, in most applications, when you capture screens, if you look at this data, it's going to have some very nondescript names. Ivory gives you the capability. I can pull in that map that I saved, and you see on this screen is the capture screen. This one is now the account number that I can use to name those fields. And I now want to click Next, put the transaction in, and define data movement. So what I want to do is I want to go back in and say, okay, here's account number, and I want to go in and let's make that something more meaningful, like account in. This is always going to be the same, so we're going to make that static, and then we're going to click Next Screen. And really all I'm going to do is just tell Ivory to grab some of these screens out here, click Next, Finish. I'm going to click Next and Finish here, and it creates a very simple flow diagram. Now what I have to do is deploy this to the server, and by deploying it to the server, it actually creates the API and deploys it out there. So now I can use our integrated test tool and test that as an API. So when I come into the test tool, remember account in was my input data. I can put a value in there, and I can get the test value back. Now, if I open that at a different screen, you can see I'm getting an XML response back. But this is a SOAP response. If I want to see that via REST, I can also just come back in and say, okay, let me re-enter this data. And now when I hit test, you'll see the response is a JSON XML format. So very quickly, I created an API based off of a 3270 application on systems